Up next, we're going to be talking about coolant, which is another vehicle vital fluid that you should know about. First and foremost, make sure that the vehicle is cold when you're checking coolant. If you remove this cap when the vehicle is hot, it can burn you. You'll see that I'm wearing gloves. That's also protecting my hands from any heat and the chemicals as well. So to check your coolant, there's two spots we're going to check. We're going to check the expansion tank, and we're also going to check the radiator. To remove a radiator cap, you will be pushing down like a pill cap and turning it. You're going to see that there's these ears on the cap. These line up here, and that's what you're pushing down and turning on when you remove the cap. So I'm going to set the cap aside here, and one thing that we're looking for here is we want that to see that the fluid inside the radiator is right up here on the neck. That tells us that our radiator is full. If you don't see that the fluid is right up there in the neck, you do need to top off your radiator. This one's full. Next step is we're going to check the integrity of the coolant. And again, we're going to use a litmus strip. So I'm going to dip it in there to get a sample, make sure that I get it on both pads there. And I'm going to set it aside for a second while it tells us what's going on here. That's going to sit for about 60 seconds while we check the other things. So putting the cap back on, you want to make sure it's nice and secure. You're going to line up those ears. You're going to push it down again, and then you're going to make sure that it fully locks in place. Just double check it because you don't want to leave that loose. If you leave your radiator cap loose, you could have a coolant leak, and that could cause the vehicle to overheat. So it's really important to second check that when you put the cap back on. Next, we're going to check the expansion tank. This is a little tricky to see the levels. I recommend getting a flashlight to shine the light down here so that you can see the lines. But you've got a full line here that tells you the full level, and a min line here that tells you the minimum level. So we'll check that, and if you want to take a look here, you can see that it is right at the full level, so we don't have to top it off. It's at a good level. Something to note about coolant, it's vitally important that you use the right kind of coolant for your vehicle. Every manufacturer uses a different type of coolant, and you don't want to mix coolants. If you mix the wrong coolant type, the coolant can actually gel and clog the system.